My biggest prayer for us for the next 10 years is for other families to be able to feed their families because of what we provided or because of what platform we gave. And the next 10 years, probably see this blowing up, becoming a source of, especially for young men. I think your platform is one platform that young men need to come and visit. This, for those who don't have mentorship, I think they need this. And
people like you.
Your most valuable commodity as a person is your time. You can't spend 50 years at a place and you're stagnant with the same skills, the same levels of salary, same whatever. Fine, salaries do increase here and there, but you can't stay with the same skills. As humans, we're blessed with that skill of adaptation. Learn, and if you feel like you've hit saturation, you're there, move to somewhere where you can learn more. Dealing with burnout requires you to rest, right? And you find that at times you think resting is sleeping, but it's actually, you find that at times it's not. Well, it works differently for different people. I'll be at home wanting to sleep, but my mind is working. I am working. I'm thinking of plan A, B, C, D, E. So how deal with burnout is, first I want to put my body in a state of rest, and usually through massage therapy. That's me getting into a state of rest and closing my PC. If I don't close my PC, I'm never resting.
All right, people. It's been a year and a half. I'm back. I took some time off, and if I sound very fluish, forgive me. I had a whole week of flu, but the work must go on. In today's installment, I have someone very dear to me, someone very special to me, my friend, my brother, my business partner, my advisor. He wears many hats today. He's my guest, and his name is Rams Ramazani.
Oui, Yemoro.
If I laugh a lot in this episode, forgive me. This guy's a clown. But yeah, bro, how you doing? Welcome to my channel. It's been 5 years, and on the 5th year, that's when you finally come on. How does it feel?
Boom. I've came on before, but as a single guest, I feel maybe that. I feel good. I feel good. I feel honored also, you know, for your relaunch. I'm your very first guest, so it says a lot about our friendship, and it says a lot about what you're doing. In the background, I was telling him, wow, some serious things going on here. So I'm super proud.
Podcast mics, we have proper lighting, camera, proper sound. We started off with phones recording us and stuff. Now we're here with proper sound, and that shows progress, isn't?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which you always push me towards anyways.
Yeah, it even feels good to be here. The energy, the flow, everything is just so great. So shout outs to you.
Listen, we don't talk like this. It's just for the cameras. We sway each other, we tease each other, we laugh, but we're trying to be professional. So let's get into it. It's March, so that's a year. No, that's 10 years and 2 months of friendship. So let me take you back. 2015 UJ. According to you, how did we become friends? According to you, because I think we have different stories.
Rudy used to be that guy I used to see in the corner. I'm like, die you more. And then life happened and things happened, and we got to meet UJ. I remember, I wouldn't say we were forced to become friends, but it was a natural gravitas. It was a natural gravitas that happened, where we found ourselves in an area or an atmosphere and environments that we didn't know many people. It was usually big, right? There's so many people, so many departments that you don't know where to go. You want to be somewhere where you feel safe. And for me, the safest and something that felt like home was Rudy, because hey, I know this guy from church. Let me just get close to him and get to speak to him. And he always used to be that guy with so much fear. I was like, this guy.
Not true.
And I think that's where everything started, man. At UJ, when we found ourselves also in the same class, and next thing you know, we're sitting in the same benches and going through the same courses, and everything just naturally grew from there.
Same class, because we wanted to study different courses. I wanted to do sports management. I think you were something engineering, if I'm not mistaken.
I wanted to do computer science.
And we got thrown out of those courses for whatever reason. I won't go into them today. So we ended up finding ourselves in operations management. And we both finished in that anyways. And I remember I used to think this guy is too arrogant. I used to think this guy is too cocky. This guy is too full of himself. And I'm like, how can I be friends with him? And then God humbled us. God humbled us with our situation. And then we were like, okay, let's be friends. And yeah, it's been 10 years and 2 months. And I actually have a question here from Joel. Yeah, Joe. He asks, how do you remain loyal to each other after 10 years of friendship?
After 10 years of friendship,
how do we remain loyal to each other?
Loyalty is not something you buy, it's something you earn. And for me, through all the experiences we've gone through, the challenges, and one thing that made it easier to be loyal to the person, loyalty comes with transparency as well, because you can't really be loyal to somebody who's very closed off, or somebody doesn't let you in, right?
Yeah, we big on that.
And for me, it was a thing of, hey, this guy lets me in. I see his family. I know his deep secrets. I know his ugly side. I know his good side. So it was natural to be loyal, to say, this is a friend, this is a brother I want to keep around. It's somebody who you can share your deep things or your ugly things. They'll laugh at you, at your face, or in your face, however English says it.
Yeah.
But deep down, you know that it's all love, and it was easy. It was easy like that, and it's been easy like that.
On my end, it was the ability to tell each other the truth, no matter what.
Absolutely.
Like one thing we do is call each other out. We call each other out like nobody's business, and I think that enabled us to be loyal, because it's like, if I do this, I know he's gonna call me out. I know if I mess around, he's gonna call me out. And one thing we didn't mess around with was the truth. We don't play with that.
Absolutely. Take it with a pinch of salt. I'll tell you what it is.
Remember, sorry to catch you, we were at a party and Jeanette was next to us. It was me, you, I think Bonnie and Sky. That's the rest of our group.
Correct.
And we were so hard on each other, but in a chilled way. And she was like,
what's wrong with y'all?
Like we're like, with us, you have to have thick skin. And that's what makes us loyal to each other, because you can't fail. Around us, you can't fail, you can't mess around, because you will get called out. I have another question here from Insta, from Candide and Pascal. They asked the same question. What's a valuable lesson you've learned in your friendship with Rudy?
Valuable lesson. Damn, that's a deep question. Yo, why y'all gotta be so deep like this? I think something I've learned over the years is putting God first. I think this guy is big in putting God first. No matter what. Even before we start here, everyone was setting up cameras. I'm on my phone, scrolling. He's out here praying. I'm like, this guy. So really the spirits and the energy around is good, right? Yeah. I think putting God first was something I really, really learned, and valuing family orientated. You're such a family orientated person, and for me, I got to learn a lot from that. Despite how big or small your family is, showing up for them in moments where it matters the most is such a big thing that I learned from you. How about you? What have you learned?
For me, I'll always say hard work. I think Rams pushed me in a way I had never been pushed at the time we met. It was just 18, 19. And not that I was lazy or anything, but I was just a procrastinator. I took my time. I know mom and dad were there, because like my sister and I grew up very sheltered. It was just the two of us, 2 kids. Parents did the most for us. So, life was easy like that. But coming across this guy, he didn't even have to say much, but I had to just watch him. And I think a good leader is someone who can also follow. So I was able to follow his footsteps in terms of hard work and dedication and stuff. So for me, that's what I took for the last 10 years, which has put me to sort of where I'm at right now. So,
and you're doing big things right now, eh?
We are doing big things, which we're going to get into. I can't take the credit myself, because it's a team effort. There's parents and stuff, but if you have the right friends like yourselves and the rest of the group, I think you're bound to succeed. So
absolutely. One thing I can also add up is with Rudy, he always reminds me, okay, fine, you work hard, but also learn how to rest, right? And I think it's such an important thing. Hardworking people or workaholics like some of us tend to forget to do is that rest. Rest is a process of healing. Actually, when you rest, you're healing up. That's why when you're sick, the doctors tell you rest. Yeah. And resting also just refreshes the mind, I remember when, I think we'll get into it, but when we're starting new business ventures, and I was not resting at all. You could see I was burning out. And this guy was like, rest. I was like, I was even getting upset. I'm like, you're not doing this. You're not doing that. Rudy's like, my man, just rest, relax. So that's something I've learned quite from you, and I think it's a big one, because when you spoke to me about rest, I didn't just see it as normal rest, right? And the biggest question that came in my mind was, how do I rest in God's positioning for me than just resting as a general? Because I'll be home, I'm sleeping, but I'm not resting. My mind is still working, you know, and people confuse sleep and rest, two different things, which we can get into a different day. But I think that was one of the journey I had to go through when you used to tell me rest. And I had to ask myself, how do I rest in God's positioning? Because he says he'll give unto, seek first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else shall be given unto you. And to me, it was a thing of, how do I balance this life, and how do I balance, you know, the things of God versus the things that what I want to desire, and what I desire is driving me crazy from rest.
True, yeah.
And that's when I remember, I'll just throw this there as well, Pastor Eli used to speak to me as well, within the same breath, like you said, learn to rest in God, because in him you'll find true rest.
Yeah, and I think you were only able to accept that sort of instruction from me, if I can say, because of our friendship. Because if we didn't have that deep bond, I would have said, dog, do your thing. If you want to break your back or do whatever, that's your problem. But because I know your personality, I know you'd be stubborn to say, no, why must I rest? And I kept saying, rest. I was like a broken recorder.
Absolutely. It
that's
was annoying, but
we balance each other, And I have another question here. We've both had highs and lows in life. Can you recall a time when our friendship got you out of a tough situation? Doesn't have to be that deep, but what do you remember that, besides this situation about rest, another situation where maybe our friendship got you out of a situation?
Absolutely. I won't get too deep. Second secrets are good to be kept behind us. But it was in decision making. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'll just contextualize it just a little bit to give you guys some, I think I had to make a decision for my life that was going to impact a lot of things for me, and Rudy played a big role in that, where I always used to check in with him, we'll discuss. I was still stubborn, he'll tell me, he'll always guide me. So here's what happened. I had to pick A or B in my life in order to proceed, right? Either in business, either in family, or whatever the case is. And within that A or B, I loved both so much. So if you can imagine, I want a BM and a Mercedes as an example. I love both. And this man says, he didn't want to say much, but he was watching me. And I knew Rudy always watched me. I was damn, I can't make a mistake. I can't fumble up.
I'm your mirrors, bro.
And just having a chat with you made me realize the truth, what I really wanted, what really mattered. Because bringing up to you those issues, you questioned them so much, to so many different levels and so many angles, that I had to understand, what do I really want, or what actually really matters? Because at times you can want something, but it's not good for you.
True.
You know?
It's deep, yeah.
And I had to come to that realization to say, but does what I really want, is it really good for me 5 years, 10 years to come? Or what I really need is this, and I can learn to want it. So, I think without too much context, I think
that's deep.
That really did help.
By the way, this episode is brought to you by ZANI AFRICA. Link is in the description. If you need more details, please click on the link down below. So there was one day at work, we used to work at Bounce, by the way. And we were
fun times.
Yeah, fun times. We're having lunch before work, and we were eating, and we were talking about our moms, which we're very close to. And you started speaking about your mom, and you got very emotional. I want you to just talk to us about Mimi, your mom, and her impact on your life and what she means to you, because that is a strong lady. I mean, she took care of 5 kids in her house for so many years, one salary, for so many years, put everyone through school. The last one is about to matriculate this year or
next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
And 4 have matriculated. You've done with varsity. You're working. So talk to us about Mimi. Let's give her flowers while she's still here.
Absolutely. You're a big star when you'll be watching this. Well, I grew up in a house where father was present and father wasn't present. And then the mother had to, of course, take care of everybody around. Cousins, brothers, sisters, everybody around. So she did a phenomenal job, in terms of characters of people, the education, making sure kids are not losing their sense or losing good morals. And I think a big part in all this was knowing God. because with that, we're always at church. At the time, we used to attend Sanctuary, and we both attended Sanctuary, by the way. It was really a good atmosphere and good environment for grooming, right? Despite not having a man that was there to groom, she did the best she could in every single department. I don't know how she did it until this day. I always ask myself, how did you pay for this? How did you pay? One time I got to see her salary. I think I was in my second year varsity. That's why I was even more thankful than I ever was. And that's when a lot of things clicked. I say, oh, I am going to work my thing.
Yeah, I remember
because I was like, wow, this is incredible. So I think for me, yeah, she played a big role. Single mother, 9-to-5 job, come home, she needs to rest, move from A, B, C, D, E points, but she was always present, and she did the most that she could. I remember one of the tough moments used to be, when kids at school, like parent days or what day, I'll be there cheating on my own parent, give me my report.
Yeah, because she was busy working. Yeah,
she was working, right? So there was no time for her to go in such things. But which played a big role in return in my life, in the sense of it helped me, I thank God for it, where it helped me not lose track and fall into things like, I don't know, drugs or depressions and start acting out and being all over around in the streets and stuff like that. It grew me in the sense of responsibility, and where I knew,
that's true,
hey, Mimi will always come home. Even when the reporter there, she's too tired. She's like, listen, my boy, I trust you. You will do well. Keep doing well. At times she didn't even want to see my report. She's like, I trust you. It's like she implanted this sense of responsibility in me as well, to say, I don't have to see everything you're doing. I know you're a man. I know you're a boy actually at the time. Whatever you're going through, we can talk about it. She always made an open floor where you can discuss anything and everything, right? Whatever you're going through. She's super honest, and that's where I get it from. I get it from her.
Mimi's honest, bro.
I literally get it from her. And she had to play the balance between a man in the house and a woman in the house at the same time, which is not always easy, right? Especially in our generation. So I think with that, like I say, I keep thanking God, the environment I grew into, people that I met like you with different family, different backgrounds, certain pastors and leaders like Pastor Ellie that was always present.
Yeah.
And with her giving me that sense of responsibility to say, listen, I trust you. I've made ugly decisions and good decisions here and there, but I always knew at the end of the day, I got to make that woman proud.
Yeah.
And
do you think you've made her proud, bro? Because I'm proud of you. I've just known you 10 years. She's known you 28 years. It's almost 29. Do you think she looks at you and she's like, yeah, no, this boy, I'm proud of him?
Did this man just expose my age? Wow.
Dog, we are 29. We born in 96, both of us.
I'd like to believe so, because she wrote to me, I think just recently, she wrote to me and said how proud she is to be my mom and all those kind of things. Especially, it was before the engagements actually, when...
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, guys, I'm engaged.
Sorry.
Man's off the street.
Yeah.
She wrote to me just before the engagement to say how proud she was, and Mimi is not really a person of, how's it called? Her love language is not really words of affirmation. She'll rather show it. I don't know how you classify that kind of love language, but she'll rather show it through whatever you guys are doing, and she'll be there present. She'll show you. She'll give you a hug, and even the way she'll look at you, you will know either here effed up or either here, yeah, she's proud of me.
Good, yeah.
So, yeah, she has, and I think I got to tell her as well that we're super proud of her on her 50th birthday. You were present.
Yeah, I was there at your speech.
Where we did like a little vacation thing for her, and I and my siblings and stuff like that. We're like, listen, we love you so much, dearly actually, and we're proud of you. And I remember in my speech, I was like, woman, you just wait and see.
Yeah.
Stay alive. That's all I ask God for.
Yeah,
you wait and you'll see.
You're doing big things, which we're going to get into. There's a question from our sister, Harmony, Kasiach's sister. As we grow older, maintaining friendships gets harder. What do you think has kept us going for a decade? I think we kind of touched on it, the honesty, prayer.
Yeah, we did. But also the sense of realization that, in French, I like to say this to my brothers, on vit ensemble, mais on vit pas la même vie. How do you translate that to English?
We come together, but we don't live the same life.
We live together, we hang out together, but we don't live the same lives. And once you have that realization, you get to understand, I don't have to see Rudy every day to know that.
Perfect, bro. That works.
Absolutely. To know that he's a friend and he's a brother at the same time. And I don't have to see you every day to know that you're there, you're present, right? I know you're present. And even if I'm seeing you once a month, which at this point we see each other probably 2 or 3 times a month, which works perfectly for us because I know you're busy, you're married now, you're working, you're trying to achieve your things, you have your goals. So do I, right? So that's what made it easier, Harmony, was the sense of knowing that, listen, this one will always be my brother and he is a destiny friend. Read up about destiny friends, you'll get to understand.
Yeah.
He's a destiny friend and I don't have to see him every day for me to know that his day is present. Or I love him and he loves me.
Yeah.
We're going with life. At times we won't even talk for the whole week.
But we always send each other stickers or reels.
Real. That's how we communicate now. Like just reels.
Reels and stickers. And I think also we enable each other to have other friends and other acquaintances. And yes, sometimes we can mix our environments together, but we know, okay, that's his side and that's my side. But when we come together, it's fireworks, and we live like 7 minutes from each other. So
absolutely,
it's not difficult to see one another. And then Hugo, our boy over here,
I just wanted to before you jump onto that, I wanted to add one more thing: is be careful not to have friends that are jealous of your time.
Yeah, bro, you're right.
Because why I actually appreciate this as well is he gets to have different friends. You get to have other friends out there, which is important because that's the power of networking.
Especially
the more friends you have, different people you're meeting out there. We don't know, you and I, what we can encounter in the near future, and who you know, right, is like they say in English, your wealth is who you know, your network. So I think don't have friends who are jealous of your time, because I think it's suffocating in the sense of they don't let you explore outside of that realm of friendship. Because at times we share only what we know, right? And staying with you, Rudy, you will only impart in me what you know. But maybe there may be certain skills, there may be certain conversation that I may have with somebody that I've never had with you, right? That it may have never happened if I didn't branch out to different kind of friends who are, let's say, example right now, people in IT. It came super handy for me.
Yeah, true.
I learned new things. You're in logistics. People in logistics, if I need something logistic, I'll call Rudy. Hey, this is what's going on here. How do I go about it? Yeah. So I think it's important to not have friends who are jealous of your time.
Yeah, you must share, guys. Our boy Hugo, the accountant, HB like the sauce, the only boss we know. He says, what has been our biggest argument in our relationship? And before we answer, we don't fight.
Yeah, I've never seen us fight.
We don't have that thing, but we butt heads.
Yeah,
and it's only happened once or twice. And I think the closest memory I have is we were chatting one time about work. I think it was ZANI in the beginning. So yeah, I think open up on that. I think that's the only one I remember. But unless you have something else.
No, I think you should go first. I'm still thinking.
I think with that, you wanted something from me that I wasn't giving, and I wanted you to understand why I wasn't giving.
Correct.
And we had a back and forth, and that was it.
Yes.
That's the best thing I can find. Yeah.
I can't really remember us fighting. Butting head, yes, we butt head all the time, especially when it comes to business, because there's a certain way I like to do things and there's a certain way he likes to do things. He likes to say, I like people to do things according to my time, which I think my time is anytime. Anytime is tea time. And he knows how to split. Exactly. Yeah. He knows how to split. I can call it 10 p.m. because of work. And Rudy knows how to split, right? And that's where we used to butt head a lot, like you mentioned when we were working on ZANI. I wanted certain things being done at certain time, at certain ways, at certain professionalism. Of course, he's a professional, but we have our different standards, right? And I remember I was at work even, we're just chatting.
That's the first time we've like fully
it was intense. I was like, but what I really liked about that moment is, despite us butting head, we still laughed even while telling each other off, right? Yeah. We're telling each other off, but we're laughing, but we mean it. Like we're dead serious. But it was quite funny. And I remember I was helping these two ladies from UJ who reached out to me. They also wanted to branch out into business and stuff like e-commerce in specific. And they were like, how do you get the right partners for what you're doing, right? And that's one thing I used to tell them. I was like, guys, your friendship will be tested so much when it comes to business. That's when you will really test each other, and either you're going to piss each other off, either the friendship will remain or it won't. And I think through businesses we've done, Acoustics, ZANI, and all other projects we've had that haven't been realized, some that are still in the pipe works, we've got to realize, this one is a real gent.
Yeah, I'd rather do it with him. Yeah, no one else. No one else.
I've seen you with others.
Yeah, yes.
I love it.
We'll get into that. Talking about businesses, so I grew up corporate. Like if it wasn't football, it would be corporate. And then I met you, my entrepreneurial eye got opened.
Yeah.
And we were working at Bounce. I worked there for 5 years. I think you 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then Acoustics came up. Acoustics that a lot of people talk about today. I think we have one more in the pipelines. Maybe we'll see. So talk to me about Acoustics and what it means for you. Because for me, it means so much.
Yeah, guys, we have one more in the pipeline and
Yeah, we're old now.
we're wrapping it up. So don't miss the next acoustic, yeah? Wait, what was your question?
What does it mean to you, Acoustics?
I think acoustic was the birth of having an idea in your head, executing it. It actually came to life and it produced fruit. It was the birth of understanding how project management works. Because we did project management at school, but we never really got to do it first sight, right? Especially something that you owned. We did it for other businesses, whatever the case is. Somebody was always at the top, guiding us, leading us. And this was something where we launched ourselves into event organizing, something we never knew how to do. And being in a group of different characters, personalities.
At the time.
Yeah, what a headache. Different characters, personalities, different visions. You see, it made it, to go back, it was the birth of something, it was the birth of our entrepreneurial journey. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Because I remember at the time, we were both looking at 9 to 5, how do we get out of Bounce? What do we do after Bounce? Okay, fine, we've got our degrees now. How do we get into that door that we want, that breakthrough? And Acoustic came about because we're looking for things to do. We're not, at that moment when we're discussing, we're not thinking of things like, what job to go for, what interview to go for. We're like, what can we do? And we sat on a table, we asked Rudy, what can you do? He says this. Warams, what can you do? I say this. Eli, what can you do? Emmanuel, what can you do? And we realize, okay, we can all do something, but there's a common denominator. We like vibes.
Yo.
We like vibes. We love vibes. I love it.
Vibes.
So how do we bring that together in one roof? And that's how Acoustic came about. So yeah, it was the birth of our entrepreneurial journey and our entrepreneurial spirit. And how about you?
Hey man, Acoustics means everything to me. It put me out there because I was doing YouTube already. I was emceeing already, but that put me out there. And it's always nice to be known and seen and respected for doing the right thing.
Correct.
And it definitely brought that to me. It was hard to work with people. That's why you were the pillow for me, because I knew you would handle the team.
Correct.
And I will do what I need to do.
Side note before you add on, Rudy loves people when we're vibing. But when we're working, people's characters, attitudes, and personalities, he doesn't take shit, eh?
Like, because I'm here to work, I'm here to be serious, and I'm here to be professional. Yeah. So that's where we swap. You become
the calm guy,
chill guy. I become you, and then, in real life it's the other way around, and that's how we balance each other.
Yeah.
Acoustics, it's my pride and joy. I can't talk higher about Acoustics, and I am sad that we're coming to an end, but I also understand that it's life. There's processes, there's things that must start, and there's things that must end. And I want to get into your baby. I think I'll give you the mic. I think you will speak to us about ZANI, because we are there to help you. We are the team behind the scenes. Yeah. We do all of this stuff, but you are the visionary of ZANI Africa. So take the floor. Tell us about ZANI Africa.
Damn. I need to put my other hat on.
Here we go.
ZANI Africa. Okay, well, ZANI Africa is, as you know, it's an e-commerce store, right? But it's not like any other e-commerce store. ZANI, when you look around Africa, we get a lot of Western, Northern, Eastern product coming from your China, your Shein, right? Look at things coming from your Elvis. Look at all the big giant techs in Africa. You look at Amazon. You look at Kilimali. You look at Takealot, or another giant one in South Africa. Kilimali in Kenya. You look at Bidopi. Yeah, the one common denominator they all have is they all sell the same things. whatever you find on Takealot can easily be found on Amazon. Whatever's on Amazon can be easily be found on your Konga, Kilimali, and all these different giant techs, right, in Africa. So how ZANI came about was, the birth of ZANI was through showcasing local brands. We looked around, and not just in South Africa, but in Africa, eventually we want to venture out, right? Is to say there's so much talent locally, and we are producing so much great quality work and quality product. And I'm referring to businesses that are serious, right? Not individuals that are trying and, but businesses that are serious. There's so much talent and so much craftsmanship around Africa in general. We're good with our hands. And how do we bring them or host them under one roof? And that's where ZANI came about. So everything you see on ZANI is from local brands, from artisans, from individuals, and from businesses as well, under one roof. And we intend to grow it and more.
Yeah. How do you balance working 9 to 5 and, being an entrepreneur with such a business that needs you to be so hands-on because of the what's the word? The back... Nini, there's the websites and then there's
the back end of it.
Back end, there we go. Yeah. How do you deal with the 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9?
The only word that's coming in mind when you talk about that is sacrifice. You have to sacrifice for what you want, man. And I was fortunate enough to work in a very good place, good environments, good energy, but besides that, a sacrifice, because wherever you're working 9 to 5, you still need to do your duty, right? You need to fulfill your responsibilities, whatever it is that your list of duties are, your list of responsibilities are. So on my end, where I get the time to do ZANI, and hence why I was also always burnt out, is 9 to 5, I get home, I take an hour break, either I'm making a meal or I'm refreshing myself. 7 p.m. I'm back on my PC. And that was the time I'll start doing ZANI. And I'll usually dedicate 3 to 4 hours a day during those evening period to work on ZANI. So that's where I found the balance. It's a super difficult balance, which means you need to eat right. Yeah. You need to make sure you sleep right. No matter how much work I had, I always make sure that I do not miss a 7-hour sleep. And that used to help me as well, because then I don't feel burnt out for my next job, which is so important, right? Because that's what's been sustaining me. And I also want to do really well in my career. By the way, I work in advertising. The industry is extremely fast. So if you're not sharp, then you're gonna lose up a bit and you'll be in trouble. So balancing that was it was difficult, man. Super, super difficult. And also, of course, having a team where they could help. What was funny is myself and the team, you're present as well. We all launched ourselves into this new project or this new venture without knowing what the heck we're doing.
What's going on here?
we just know what we want to do, right? And which means there was a lot of time sacrificed to learning, researching, reading, articles after articles, YouTubes after YouTubes, consulting with professionals, and all those kind of things. So it was difficult, super difficult. But we eventually got the hang of it. The infrastructure's there.
There's a follower on Instagram, Susan Kabulo. She asked, how do you balance the need to innovate and take risks to drive growth and stay ahead of the competition? Now, your industry, it's very, very competitive. I say yours because you representing ZANI. I'm
Correct.
asking you. But we're all behind him. How do you balance the need to innovate and take risks and also drive growth and stay ahead of the competition? It's a deep one. I mean, in the industry innovation always needs to be there, right? But before you innovate, you need to master. You master one, then you move on into whatever you want to innovate. And the need to innovate will always be there. There's always a new technology. There's always a new AI you want to make use of. There's always a new software. There's always a new approach, a new strategy. So innovation is at the core center of everything we do on ZANI. We're seeking to innovate our platform. We're seeking to innovate every strategy that we put out there, right? So innovation is always there. When it comes to growth comes with certain responsibilities. True. Now, from where we are with wanting to grow, and this is me answering to Suzanne, you said, right? If you're running a business, Suzanne, growth comes with certain expectations. If you want to grow, which means you need to expand, meaning you need to expand the team. As a visionary, you need disciples, like we categorize them. You need disciples that will push that vision.
You come up with the vision, whatever the case is, but you need a team that will push that vision.
Yeah.
Without that, it's impossible for you to grow. Let's say you sell up to 200 products a month, and you say, hey, we need to double this in the next month. You can't expect the same people that are putting so much work to achieve the 200 to double that, right? It's either you're going to get the tools, innovation, or you're going to get the manpower. One of the two.
Yeah.
And our end, we rely heavily on the innovation, the AI, everything. A lot of the things are automated, which helps us do that. And it comes with a lot of investments. You need to continuously reinvest in your business for innovation. So if today we are having, like 10 years ago, Rudy used to record with iPhones when we started. It was a challenging time, but you started, right? You have to start. And here we are today in a professional studio. You're reinvesting in the business.
Not easy,
Funny story, I was reading one of the podcasts with Jeff Bezos. He, if I remember the numbers correctly, please, we can research it later, but the context of the story is true. The numbers may not be right now. But he says he only made profit 10 years after launching Amazon. And when they asked him, where was all the money going? Because he was making a whole lot of money. Where was the money going? He spoke about reinvestment.
Yeah.
They didn't care about the profit at the time. He was reinvesting it into the business to grow the business, which means upskill the team, which means get the softwares, create new technologies that Amazon has right now, all those kind of things. So reinvestment in your business is super, super important, and it helps you grow.
Yeah, sticking on the professional theme, Tina, our friend, asked us both, what's one thing we admire about each other in a professional sense? For me, I will say with you, your bravery. You are so brave when it comes to going after your goals, and I think everyone should sort of have that.
Yeah.
Whether it's professional, whether it's entrepreneurial or 9 to 5, when it's time to leave a job, you will leave a job. I will calculate, but what about, you were like, nope, I made up my mind, I'm going, I'm leaving. And if it's for business, I don't care, I will sleep at 1 o'clock, I need to get this done, I need to approach this person, I need to seek that investment. So you're very, very brave. So in a professional sense, that's what I admire a lot from you,
Yeah. Look, it's not for everyone. If you can't handle it, don't take it, right?
True, yeah.
It's not for everyone. I think God gives everybody the strength to handle certain pressures in life, right? We're not all the same. We're not all born the same. And some of us happen to take risk without too much calculations. Like Rudy always says, before you make a move, I know you think. So I always think of my next move before I make the move. And at times the move is super risky, but I know a plan B that can happen.
Yeah.
And I always rely on the faith to say, before I make that move, I consult with my God to say, listen, this is what I'm feeling. Is this you sending me? Is that you planting that idea in me, or is it me going crazy? And I'll have a moment of prayer until I have that confirmation, right? And usually it comes with the spirit. I can feel it in my bone. I can feel it. I'm like, this is what I need to do. And at times I remember I used to leave many jobs. I was like, okay, I've done a year, Rudy, I'm moving. I need something different. I've hit my growth.
We just arrived.
Right? But the thing is, wherever you are, seek to grow. And that's your most valuable commodity as a person is your time. You can't spend 50 years at a place and you're stagnant with the same skills, the same levels of
salary,
same whatever. Fine, salaries do increase here and there, but you can't stay with the same skills. As humans, we're blessed with that skill of adaptation. Learn. And if you feel like you've hit saturation, you are there, move to somewhere where you can learn more. Because that's the only way to make more money, guys. You have to keep learning more skills. On your end, what I've learned from a professional level is your professionalism. You like things done a certain way, very professional. I see it even with Acoustics, especially the previous one when I wasn't there. You wanted things done in a certain way,
in the right way.
No, in a certain way. I didn't say your way. In a certain way that was professional, which I admired. I was like, that's true leadership, right? Is trying to lead a team or trying to lead wherever you are, you want things done the right way. That's one thing about Rudy. I can bend bridges, not with people in terms of doing things. I can find shortcuts. Rudy doesn't like shortcuts. He wants to do things the right way. And I think that's something I've got to learn, which I'm adapting only now, 29 years later of my life, to say, I want things done the right way. And there's a sense of blessing that comes with doing things the right way. Don't always look for shortcuts. Shortcuts always comes with burning. There's a burn waiting for you. Eventually it'll come. So doing things the right way, you also have that sense of freedom in your mind, where there's no guilty conscience of whatever the case is, where you feel free to know that I did things the right way, and here I am, God, bless me.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, doing things the right way, absolutely, and your professionalism. That I think that's a big one for me.
Very brave, yeah. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of us working together as friends, as brothers, as people that know each other very well?
I think we touched it already. Is at times I get super frustrated because there's something I'm expecting of Rudy. At times I may not be very vocal about what I'm expecting, but because of we working together, we delegating, we're saying, okay, you doing this, I'm doing this. And because of the nature of how I work, I want things done I'm very, what's the English word? Je suis agressive quand il faut travailler, tu vois.
Pedantic,
Yeah, but Rudy's very relaxed, but the work is getting done, tu vois. So when I don't see it in you, I'm like, this guy's not doing it, but you're actually doing it. It's just your nature of doing things. So at times, it's a challenging way.
And the advantage?
The advantage is learning. I learn how there's not only one way to do things. There's many ways to do things. Just the same way you can achieve it because you're running around like a headless chicken. I can achieve it by being calm in one corner and doing the work.
I think with me, the advantage is I can trust you.
Yeah.
I can go to sleep knowing whatever he has to do.
Correct.
It's done.
Yeah.
Not it will be done. It's already done. Disadvantage is the different personalities when it comes to getting the work done.
Correct.
Which we've already spoken about many times. And there's one thing we spoke about off camera as well, about burnout. I've suffered burnout. That's even why I took a year off. This thing was too much.
Correct.
It was too much, and a lot of things happened behind the scenes and stuff, and a lot of imposter syndrome that I was feeling. It's crazy. How do you deal with burnout?
Yeah, it's a super challenging one because dealing with burnout requires you to rest, right? And you find that at times you think resting is sleeping, but it's actually, you find that at times it's not. Well, it works differently for different people. I'll be at home wanting to sleep, but my mind is working.
Yeah.
I am working. I'm thinking of plan A, B, C, D, E. So how do you burnout is first I want to put my body in a state of rest, and usually through massage therapy. That's me getting into a state of rest and closing my PC. If I don't close my PC, I'm never resting.
Yeah,
because my mind is thinking.
House, it's open, playing music. And I know before we leave, you're going to work. One day
Absolutely.
we were chilling, we went on a call. I was like, this guy, we chilling.
So I think put your body in a state of rest first.
Yeah.
That's how I deal with my burnout. Is I put myself in a state of rest. I'll go for massage therapy, or I'm going to meditate. Not necessarily the word of God, but meditate and just be quiet and calm for a few minutes. Find calmness. T.D. Jakes speaks about this. He says, the problem for our generation is we're so afraid of quietness. Like, you can be chilling, you want music in your background. You'll be sleeping, but you want sound of rain in the background, or you want a preaching in the background. We're so afraid of calmness, and that's where a lot of issues are. We just can't stay calm. And putting back into the Bible context, the Spirit of God speaks to you when you're calm.
Yeah, true.
God wants you to first sit down, stay calm, then I give you. Look at Christ when he had to preach. People had to sit, then he gave. So put yourself in a state of rest, be calm, enjoy quietness, even if it's just for 30 minutes. Trust me, it resets your mind.
Yeah.
And that's how I deal with it. Yourself?
Yeah, with me, on my end, like you said, I go off my phone every Wednesday. I do my best. But now working in logistics and procurement and dealing with clients, both my phones ring 50 times a day on average. It's crazy. But I try to get off my phone on a Wednesday. I go to gym. I spend time watching podcasts. That's how I learn. I watch documentaries. And I go to your house.
Yeah.
Like, I come here as my escape. This is my escape.
I remember that day when Bonnie was asking you.
Exactly, yeah. So I go to your house and I chill at home with my wife and stuff. We just relax and take it easy. So, yeah. And in closing, I got 2 more questions. What do you see for the next 10 years for us holistically? Business, family, because we new levels now.
Absolutely.
We're more responsible. We have work, we have businesses, we have partners. Hopefully God will bless us with kids according to his will. What do you see for the next 10 years? We'll be 30. 30,
no,
40.
what? We'll be 40, bro. No, okay, well, 39.
39, 40. Yeah,
39, 40. Damn, that's you see, I'm glowing, I'm excited. I'm like, whoa, this will be nice. Next 10 years, there's a thing by Nino. Those who listen to Nino, the song is called Jefe. We're even talking about it off camera, where Il says, tout ça c'est le destin. Après ça, on devient de chef. Alors, for me, I've seen how much work we're putting in for our future.
Yeah,
And despite that, I also see us leaving it in God's hand to say, hey, Lord, you've blessed us with this dream. You've blessed us with this vision. We are putting as much as we can, and we're trusting you for the next steps. And for me, I know for sure that God will bless us. And for the next 10 years, I see us having kids, of course, beautiful families, owning a couple of things. And my biggest prayer for us for the next 10 years is for other families to be able to feed their families because of what we provided or because of 100%. What platform we gave. And the next 10 years, probably see this blowing up, becoming a source of, especially for young men. I think your platform is one platform that young men need to come and visit. This, for those who don't have mentorship, I think they need this. And
people like you.
Yo, so people that need mentorship needs such things. They need to hear this voice of reason, right? For men that have been there before them, how they handled certain things. Yeah, next 10 years, I think it'll be a big one, man. I'm just excited for what's to come with ZANI, with your procurement company. I see us working hand in hand, extremely hand in hand. So I think it'll be an exciting one. You?
Yeah, I think I see a lot of peace, man. A lot of happiness because we've been pushing. We've been pushing together individually.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of, even if there will be difficult moments, I see us staying together.
Correct.
I see this friendship. I see my kids calling you Uncle Rams. And vice versa.
Pay for their fears, bro.
I see you disciplining my kids. If he messes up, what are you doing? And me being calm, knowing Rams has my kid under control. You know what I mean? Type of thing. So I see our businesses growing because they don't have a choice. They're putting way too much effort into this for it to not grow. So I see a lot of good things. And in closing, bro, what's your favorite memory of us? That's from Alino Paule. What's your favorite memory of this friend?
Yeah, it's at the top of my mind, Rudy's wedding. So this guy, I think we were both so excited, and the way I was so excited, you saw I was also getting married.
Yeah, he was so excited. Yes,
I always tell him Rudy's wedding was not a wedding; it was a party. It was a turn up. So at one point, we in the dance floor, we just screaming for no reason. Whoa! We just screaming for absolutely no reason. And then the energy was so contagious. Everyone around us started screaming as well. And it was crazy. And I remember we're screaming, we're jumping as if there was, when you're in a stadium and your favorite team scores, that excitement you're having, that euphoria, that word. We were just screaming. And I remember Sky being next to me. We were so excited. I was like, Tutumbulae.
And then they lifted me up.
Suddenly, Rudy was in the air. And there's a sticker of Rudy that goes around. If you see it, if you know it, you know it. And Rudy was just here vibing. He was like, I think you felt like a king at that point. Eh? You're like,
I can't lie, bro. I was like, where am I? This feels so great.
That's one of my favorite moments. It was just so, it was so pure. It was so happy. The energy was really good. And I think that's one memory I always hold in my head to say, listen, I lifted this guy at his wedding and it was crazy.
No, it's coming back for you. I think with me was when we got into each other's homes for the first time. You moved, I moved, then we were like, hey, remember we were talking about this and now we have our own places. And I remember we used to have these cars before. You had the Lamborghini, the purple one.
The purple Lamborghini.
I had the black Tata and we were like, nah bro, our cars are coming. And then a couple of years ago, we bought our first cars like ourselves.
Correct.
And now we're in our own homes, we're getting married and businesses. So that walking into your house and you walking into my house was like, wow, full circle moment. So
absolutely.
And Cape Town.
I'll never forget that day. Do you want to tell them? You can tell them.
Cape Town remains in my mind. This guy he was on a stripper pole. How we got there, I don't know. He lost his money, he lost his wallet, he got stuck in a lift. Everything happened in one night within 5-7 hours.
So much happened.
Yes, but
so much.
I'll never forget Cape Town. I'll never ever forget Cape Town, bro.
We're in the club. Let me just give you guys a bit of context. Fine, we're at Cape Town, we're young, we're in the club, we're partying, and then I drink, Rudy doesn't, right? So cool. We're in the clubs, and I remember that day we lost one of our friends, and Rudy took a bigger toll on Rudy because he was closer to the guy than I was. Yeah. So fine, we're having fun. Next thing you know, I am super wasted. I'm on a strip pole. I don't know what I was doing there, but I was just screaming. Whoa! I don't know. There's the thing about us, we like to scream.
Too much. We screamers.
And then
we like to scream.
the club closes. It's time to pay. And first night at Cape Town, we're sitting at 7K. And mind you, we're 21, bro. We don't come from rich families like that. Parents are just going to send you money. And I'm looking Rudy, bro. And Rudy's like, nope. Pay for it.
I warned you. I told you about this.
I sobered up in a space of 1 minute. I was like, shit, I need to pay up. Yeah, long story short.
I gave like $300 at the time.
Yeah, he did assist.
Yeah,
he did assist.
Insane, but
yeah, that was beautiful memories, man. Beautiful memories we had.
Indeed. Thank you, bro, for coming on to the platform, my podcast, my channel, whatever.
Yeah.
My first one. That's why I never used to have questions before I used to flow.
Yeah.
But because I haven't done it in a while, I had to just make sure I have the proper guidelines. And really, thank you for being in my life, for being my brother, my friend, my best man at my wedding.
Cute, though.
Oh, of course, bro. You've really helped me to become more serious in my life over the last few years. And thanks for your support on this platform. You always told me to improve, and I didn't know how to find it. I found it now, so shout out to you. And I wish you all the best, bro. I'll be right behind you, right beside you for everything, as I have already. And to everybody that watched, thank you so much for watching. Please, subscribe. It's free. Like, share, all of that stuff.
So it takes less than a minute.
100%. And see you at the next episode. My name is Rudy Samuel, and I'm signing out.